So Dave, tell us a little bit about the history of the jazz prep program and how it's developed.
I've been here since 1996 as chair, and it started with just two preparatory ensembles, mini ensembles for kids, and now we have 26 prep bands and a whole certificate program with multiple levels of jazz theory and ear training and of course ensembles. We now have a big band with Ken Shaphorst, who's doing the jazz lab. And we have every kind of class you'd have basically in music school: jazz history, styles and analysis. And that's grown and grown and grown over the last 17 years. Really excited to have a overnight week-long intensive for the summer school, which has also been going on for 17 years, where we also do blues workshops and prep students.
So what elements of the prep jazz program can kids coming to Jazz Lab expect?
Some of the same faculty, myself and Rick McLaughlin, Jamie Stewartson is a great guitar teacher and composer. A lot of the students, actually, I know there's some students from the prep program are coming in, so a bunch of those students will be here, and some of them are actually even bringing their whole bands with them from their high schools and stuff like this. I think the people, I think the individual attention, the kind of we have a very strong certificate program where the students become band leaders for their recitals at two different points, and they give a half-hour recital on their own and then an hour recital when they complete their program. And so there's a big emphasis on really listening to each student and what their both kind of short-term and long-term artistic goals are, whether that's as something as immediate as there's a concert in a few days or an audition coming up, or something much larger like their compositional voice or their improvisational style.
So also as a part of Jazz Lab, the faculty that are engaged in teaching the small groups are actually going to be a component of the small groups. How has that worked in your experience?
One of the things that we do that I think really comes from a long tradition in jazz is, at jam sessions, you'd have older musicians playing with younger musicians. So we thought it was really important in our program to always have a coach playing with the students. Oftentimes that was a rhythm section player on bass or drums or something, but it could be any member of the band, sort of whatever's missing from the band. And I think that just adds a whole other quality of experience to the groups, and you can guide the students in a different kind of way if you're actually playing with them. I think then if you're just kind of on the side critiquing, you're actually in the moment with them. And it's really energizing for the teachers. We end up writing arrangements for the people that are really there. So we make a lot of choice. We're not just sort of bringing in stock arrangements for a set band. It's like, well, these are the people in front of us, and we're playing one of the instruments, and it's all very specific to that group of people. And I think that's one of NEC's that's one of the special sauces for our program.
Yeah, definitely. Well, and so another component of Jazz Lab is we're going to have kids from all over the country. How do you think that's going to affect the kids that are locals?
Well, I think these kids are wide open. A lot of them already play all over the country. I mean, they're winning all these jazz competitions, so they sometimes say, "Oh yeah, Dave, I can't make it this Saturday for prep school because I'm playing the Monterey Jazz Festival,
Mm-hmm.
or I'm in Grammy Band or whatever." So a lot of these kids are already playing with people from all over the world anyways. But they're really open kids, and it's really funny. We did a jam session recently, and the kids are so sort of respectful of each other that even on the same tune they'd switch instruments. So we'd have like three pianists would sit down and say, "Hey man, can I cut in or whatever?" And they would, which it's something you don't even usually see, but I mean it's a really great group of students, great attitude, and even within the NEC environment in New England, a lot of the kids come from as far away as Connecticut, Maine. They take like a bus at like 6 in the morning on Saturday to do the program. So they're pretty much used to working with students from all over the place. So I think they'll look forward to meeting kids from other countries, and I think it's going to be a great vibe.
The other thing, this city is so unique, and the school itself is right in the heart of it. What are some benefits of being a musician in a city like this?
There are jam sessions, there are music venues. I mean, you can go see live jazz both at the sort of national touring level. If you want to see big international artists at like Symphony Hall or something, you could go. That's right up the street. The Berkeley Performance Center, all these sort of big national touring artists are right up the street, and of course Jordan Hall brings in amazing concerts itself right on NEC's campus. But there's also clubs where you can see everything from even our prep students play regularly at places like Wally's and a lot of the sort of Boston jazz jam session kind of haunts. And there's community centers if you go a little bit farther out of town, but it's all accessible by public transportation. To go to art centers, and there's lots of places to play and meet other people interested in jazz. And there's a ton of students. There's so many programs. There's also students that are here for NEC's summer program, which happens after Jazz Lab. The 6-week program, some of those students are around as well as other schools in the area. So there's so much to see. I mean, there's a lot of people here.
So you've been doing this 6-week jazz program. What are the differences between that program and Jazz Lab?
So the 6-week program is a flexible schedule program. So it's kind of the polar opposite as far as scheduling. So what we do is we collect everybody's schedule, and then we run 6 long rehearsals and a concert. So it's like 2-hour and 15-minute rehearsals and then a 90-minute show, including setup and teardown. And basically what we do is find out when people are available, and then we run ensembles. And those ensembles, unlike during the school year, would be mixed sometimes. We might have adults and kids, depending on just their playing level purely, and sort of we think the personalities will work. And so we also have this blues workshop thing, which focuses on Chicago and New Orleans blues, which is stuff we might touch on in the other parts of the school year, but that's actually a special ensemble that we have. And and the only thing that's running on a sort of super regular basis without considering the schedule of the students is one classroom course that Rick McLaughlin, who's teaching in Jazz Lab, teaches, which combines ear training and theory. But it's so the scheduling is very different, and Jazz Lab is really aimed at high school and slightly younger students. You're not going to be necessarily dealing with adult students mixed into the groups. And also that the summer thing, a lot of the groups are so just all adults too, that we do that as well. So it's a different schedule, and there's not going to be this kind of intensive, you're going to do this class followed by this other class, where the stuff in summer school tends to be just maybe lessons, ensemble, and possibly that one class. And that's it. It's mostly focused on ensembles and lessons.
And Jazz Lab's just going to compress all of that into
1 week,
5.5 mad days of.
Plus,
jazz.
you can stay in Jazz Lab. You can actually stay overnight. So that's also really big. I mean, for me, that's one thing that's really exciting about this. Some of the elements we've brought in, like Bob Moses, to do master classes for summer school before, but now we have, we also have Dominique and Joe Morris, and we have all these people that are coming all within 1 week. And so that kind of time compression is very exciting, and to have this kind of intense week is great.